Check this out. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Cafe Bagheri. So who doesn't love tahdig? That crunchy goodness that comes from the bottom of Persian rice. Everybody loves it, and people have been known to fight over it. So today, we're going to teach you a way to make extra amount of tahdig for your parties and your gatherings in a pan and in your oven instead of the pot. So you will have extra tahdig for everyone to enjoy. While I set up for us to get started on tahdig in the oven, why don't you go to cafebagheri.com and look at our shop. Maybe you can pick yourself up one of these aprons or a t-shirt. We have some other merchandise. So let's get started making some tahdig together. Like all Persian rice recipes, the first step was to wash and clean our rice and then soaked it in a salt brine. This was in the salt brine for about an hour. You can go up to 3 or 4 hours. Some people go overnight. So what I do is I'm going to put the rice and the salt brine in the water that I already have boiling here. Okay? What that's going to do is going to cool the water down some, but in a matter of a couple of minutes, we're going to get it back up to boiling point. And we're going to add about a tablespoon of neutral vegetable oil. This helps the rice grains stay separated and not clump up at the bottom or stick to each other. And just give it a little stir. And we're going to wait till this goes to boiling point. From that point on, go about 5 to 7, 8 minutes, depending on your cooktop, until the rice is al dente, which means the center of each rice grain should be hard, but the outside should be kind of cooked. So you're going to test a couple of grains, and then your rice is ready to be washed. Okay, it's been about 5-ish minutes. And looks like we were where we want to be with the level of doneness. We're going to go here in the colander and dump the rice and the hot water. We deal with cold water here on out. Get this all washed out. And then we pretty much go around and middle and wash as much of the starch and a lot of the salt that's in this guy out of it, right? So we do this 2 to 3 times. All right, so we're going to leave this here in the sink. Okay, while our cooked rice is still draining here in the sink, we're going to make our batter that will get mixed with the rice. We got our 2 eggs and a yolk, and the recipe as usual is in the comments below. We got our yogurt. I use whole or fat-free, and we have our vegetable oil. This is grapeseed. You can use canola or any kind of neutral cooking oil that you have access to. This is our spices. We got regular salt, freshly ground black pepper, turmeric, and a little bit of heat. I use cayenne. If you don't like any heat, you can skip it. But you want a little character in your crunchy tahdig, don't you? Yeah. So I'm going to break the yolks a little bit, push all of this back in, and just fold it all in. And then once I get the initial mix all together, I will get my whisk over here and make sure it's all mixed real well. One thing that we need to add to this for its character is a bit of saffron solution or saffron water, as it's sometimes called. I got 1 tablespoon. The recipe for making this saffron solution is in a lot of our recipes on the YouTube videos, including this one. There you go. I have to be careful not to mess up this countertop because saffron can leave a mark. Not if you wipe it right away, right? There you go. Okay, so we're gonna make sure all the lumps from the yogurt are broken and you have a consistent yellow golden color from your saffron. There you go. I think we're where we want to be with this. Now we're going to add our rice to the rest of this batter. Check this out. This is the 2 cups of rice that we boiled and drained. We're going to use half of it to go in this batter to form the crunchy bottom of our tahdig, and the other half is going to go on the top of it. Okay, I would say this is about half, right? There you go. So we're going to push this half into the batter mix down here. If you want a thicker, crunchy layer, you can put more of this cooked rice into this batter. And so that's your decision. See how you like it. Our batter is made here. We're going to our pan. This is a standard half cookie sheet with rims. You want a pan or a cookie sheet with rims around it. And we need to grease this. I have here 3 tablespoons of regular vegetable oil. Again, I use grapeseed oil here, as I always do. I have melted butter of the same amount. Now we're going to add our saffron solution here. It's a tablespoon of saffron solution. And you know the recipe is below. And you've seen it on their many videos there. We are going to add salt, pepper, and turmeric, which are our standard Persian spices. Just a pinch, which means a few shakes like that. Table salt, just a pinch. Again. And freshly ground black pepper. I grind my black pepper a few days at a time, unless I'm putting it on salads or in the sauces while they're cooking. But usually I have some in a shaker like this for convenience. We're going to mix all of this. Here's the deal. If I was to pour this oil mixture onto this cookie sheet, because it's not brand new, it's got some bumps and bruises, and the oil will puddle, and I don't like that inconsistency. What I want is, you could either put your pan in the freezer ahead of time to immediately congeal the oil and you can brush it evenly, or you can put this in the freezer for maybe a minute and then this will cool down and then you can consistently brush it on. I'm going to do that and we'll show you what it looks like. All right. See, our oil is kind of hardening here. We're going to push it down here. It should adhere to the pan better now. See, it's a little just a little bit set. Even a little harder would have been okay for this. So you want to paint the oil mixture onto your pan, but you want it to adhere. See how you can see the brush strokes now? That means the oil is a little set. I call that congealed. I think that's the right word. All right, we're gonna go up the walls here. And like that. See, I have pretty much a consistent coverage with some exception in the corner, but you see where we're coming from. There you go. Now we get our batter here. Just give it a little stir so that if some liquid has separated into puddles here and there, make it consistent. And just quickly pour this everywhere. Look at this. We are really not going for a very thick layer. Remember, we're simulating the bottom of your Persian rice pot. And this is about as thick as it's going to be. I'm going to do one of these, kind of both ways. So this is consistent and leveled. Now we get our white rice. Going back to what we said earlier, we're simulating the bottom of your pot of rice. The tahdig layer and then the white rice. But not very thick. We want to make sure we don't jeopardize the ability of this thin layer to harden up and crunch up in intense heat. So you got two things going on here. One is fat, butter and vegetable oil, and the other one is intense heat from your oven. Those two elements are what produces good crunchy tahdig. And we are simulating that in the oven in this pan. And I think you're going to be impressed. And this is the starting point. You can put all kinds of things in the below layer, right? So do the same thing you did with the yellow stuff under. All right, so before we cover this with the layer of foil, you need to compact this down to help the crunchiness. Right now it's a little fluffy. You need to pack it down to help the texture and the crunchiness of the final tahdig. One way is to get a big metal spatula, kind of like when you do smash burgers, same thing, and just press on it. Or just get a heavy bottom glass and just kind of gently but intently, and just make sure you touch every part of this surface and just briefly compact this without making an indentation or a hole in it. See what I'm doing? Just making sure this is packed. There are not big pockets of air in there. That's what we were going for. Now we're going to cover this. In order to not have any gaps in my foil, I recommend you use extra wide sheets, rolls of foil. So the place around the thing. Then we put 4 or 6 little slits that it can breathe through. If you don't do this, you don't get the crunchiness that you're after. As this rice cooks, all the moisture from yogurt and eggs need to escape so that your rice under can crunch up. Now I have preheated my oven to 435. And we're gonna put it in there. In my oven, because I've tested this recipe several times, about 85 to 90 minutes is what you need to get the level of crunchiness that you desire from good tahdig, as well as the separation that you want from the bottom of the tahdig because it's sticking to your pan. At a certain time and temperature, it's going to start letting go. Now you'll see sometimes it's okay to go with a sharp edge of spatula under it and separate it. But 85 to 90 minutes at this temperature is where you want it to go. Okay, it's been exactly 90 minutes in our oven, cooking at 435 degrees Fahrenheit. We checked one time about midway and turned it, although it's a convection oven, but even convection ovens have hot spots, and so I recommend either way, either conventional or regular, you turn it halfway, okay? So let's see. Come check this out. Look at this. This is what we're talking about. See that? And see how easy, oh, I burned myself. See how easily it's separated? At first it's gonna be somewhat flexible, but this tahdig will harden in the next 5 to 10 minutes as you pull it out of the pan and let it breathe. It will lose some extra moisture. Check this out. So I'm going to pull this back and mind the steam. There it is. See how easy it separates? So if you have enough heat and enough fat under this rice and egg mixture, it will easily separate. There. All right, so we're gonna flip this thing over without burning ourselves. Let me see if I can do this. Look at this. This is the crunch we wanted. Now, looky here. This is about the portion size that we can imagine each person getting. So what we have here, if you had cooked this tahdig at the bottom of a pot, you would have only about this much in a medium-sized pot and would feed 8 to 12 people, but you would have a limited amount of tahdig. What I've done is I can still cook my Persian rice in a medium-sized or large-sized pot and cook extra tahdig to go with it. And that's the idea. And check this out. This is our tahdig in the oven. So once you can produce tahdig in larger quantities like this, in addition to its traditional place next to your Persian rice, stews, and kebabs, you can start using it in some fun, innovative ways, such as hamburger buns using tahdig. Doesn't that look fun? Or you can cut it up in smaller pieces and use it as the base of your hors d'oeuvres, canapes. Or you can, of course, serve hors, the Persian stews, kaimeh or ghormeh sabzi on it as side dishes and appetizers. Usually use a pair of kitchen shears, scissors, to cut a piece. And as I told you earlier, in about 5 to 10 minutes after this has come out of the oven, it's even crunchier. Shall we give it a try? You want some? You need to make this in the oven. Awesome. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like below this video. Don't forget to check out our shop on cafebagheri.com. You can get some of these aprons or our t-shirts and other goodies up there. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that little bell button so you can hear from us when exciting things happen around here. We send out notifications. And when you make this delicious tahdig in the oven, tag me on your pictures on Instagram at Cafe Bagheri. Comment under this video in YouTube comments and let me know how it turns out. I'm really curious to know how you're enjoying this. And come back and see me very soon right here at Cafe Bagheri.